Saddest thing that I've actually seen is how people expect to get rewarded, maximum reward off of minimal effort. And I see it in so many aspects in life. Ever since I began managing people, as I got promoted years back, I started realizing how lazy people are and how people have a skewed view of reality, a biased, if you will, where everybody thinks that they're their own hero of their own story. People think they have virtues that they don't actually have and don't practice. For example, being hardworking. It's awfully funny how most people think they work hard, and they don't. Most people cut corners. Most people will take the easy way out. Most people will sit there and collect a paycheck and not do anything but pretend they're working all day. You've seen these memes and these statistics floating around social media. The average U.S. worker works about 2 hours a day. I think it's less than that. The real issue here is that people have an expectation of reward versus minimal effort. And that is where people fuck up their lives, because it goes beyond career. It goes into romantic relationships. It goes into friendships. It goes into anything you can think about where you just expect a reward for existing. My favorite thing going back to the career is people will sit there with a straight face and know that they have nothing on their list of attributes to the organization. Because I'll ask them, well, what did you do in the past year when it comes to projects you got done that you are proud of? That's a tough one. It shouldn't be. It's one thing if you're someone that is quiet quitting and you're giving the middle finger to the organization because forget corporate. So you are just collecting a paycheck and you're just a warm seat. I understand that, but then you're coming in and you're saying, oh no, I want a promotion because of the work I put in. You just show up at work and you don't do anything unless I tell you to do it, and that's not promotion material. Especially when these people come to me with a straight face and say, I want to get into management. No, because what we have to do is work. We can't just sit around and wait for people to tell us to do things. We have to make things happen. And that's the thing you see online of how, managers don't do anything. Managers like that, in my experience, get fired. And I know I have examples. Well, good for you. But start talking about companies that actually are good at what they do and are the top tier in their market. They can't have people like that in their roster. No, they can't. And I understand you have experiences. I do too, of working for some bummy ass companies, but it's exactly that. You have people in your organization you can name off for management and they suck at their job. Great. But in my experience, those people don't last, especially if you think about the younger generation, Generation Z, the young millennials that want the promotions, that want the fancy titles because they want the good paycheck. But how do I get that? It isn't just enough to work hard. It's really about strategizing to pick projects that have eyes on it and making sure people know you exist, know the value you bring by taking on projects that are challenging. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to collect a paycheck until it's time. Well, I feel like I earn. You earn what? Because you feel? And this translates into people in relationships. For example, well, I'm 35 now, so I should be married. And what are you talking about? What foundation did you start to build? Are you dating? No. So you're failing at that. You look at the effort you're putting in there, and it's like basically your whole motto in life is fuck it, but you expect what? Have a nice job, nice title, getting promoted a couple of times, have a nice wife at home, have some friends, even though you don't put effort into maintaining friendships, because a lot of people are low effort, but they expect maximum reward for just existing. And this is why you get people that are senior citizens that don't have retirement, that don't have a pot to piss in because they don't work hard. They don't strategize on making sure that they're taken care of later, and they just bullshit until one day you wake up and you're an old man and you have nothing. No friends, no family. Of course, no job. You're too old to work unless you want to be a greeter at McDonald's. Because you can't work at Starbucks, that's too fast. Can't work in fast food because that's too fast for someone who's a senior citizen. So you take some low-skill job, at least it matches your low-effort energy that you had all your fucking life that put you in that situation. But this is a nightmare that should be for every man and for every woman. Because I see Women do this too, where you put in low goddamn effort and I expect maximum returns. I understand that life is so frustrating and that it seems like life just asks more of you just to survive. But I'm telling you, most of us are not putting in the effort that we think we are. When you work with people and you're in a managerial position like myself, you start to understand who works hard, who doesn't, who actually deserves the promotion, who doesn't. It's an ocean that divides the workers that work and the workers that don't. It's so many people that just want to cut corners. I'm exhausted. Stop asking for shit. If you're so exhausted, then stop asking for shit because you're never going to get it, okay? No one's going to reward you by you just being so exhausted. And I'm exhausted, motherfucker. I'm exhausted. I'm just frustrated because and especially because the world, as we know, and the first lesson we learn as a man is the world doesn't give a fuck about us. So stop acting like one day it's going to fucking stop and it's going to listen. Now I'm violently angry. The world doesn't care about men. It doesn't care you're angry. It doesn't care that you're tired. Grow up. Take a break. But most of you don't even deserve that. When I see the effort that people put into their lives, it's minimal effort. What the fuck you tired about? Because you're not working hard. And you're not working strategically. You still got to put in effort. And people don't want to do that. Maximum reward is what people expect. So we have to look at the outcomes you're getting. Are you where you want to be? Most of us just know. So then you're going to have to strategize on how to get to where you want to be. And it's going to have to be more than likely doing more. More reading business books if you want to climb up in your corporate career. Depending on what exactly you want to do. Do you want to be better at sales? Get some books on that. Sign up for some associations in your industry to help account executives. There's all these things to educate yourself, to put in work, to become better so you can actually earn a promotion. Then you just sitting around and saying, well, I've been here for 10 years. Other thing about relationships, you want to be married, you're going to have to put an effort in dating. Well, women are bullshit, dating's bullshit, then your life's going to be bullshit. Because you have this philosophy of sitting here and blaming other people, especially women. Oh, well, that's off the table. Okay, let's talk about friendships. It's tough out there making friends. It's even harder out there maintaining friendships. Can you at least show up for people? Well, it depends. Fuck you, man. You don't deserve friends. And a main culprit is cowardice, where people are literally running away from responsibility, from accountability. You see it in corporate and you see it in how people live their lives. Run away from relationships, run away when people depend on you in your friendships, run away from when your boss needs you for things, and then, well, minimal effort, maximum rewards. That's a child, okay? No one's going to spoil you, especially as a man. So you guys have to work on growing the hell up because, man, no one's going to stop. And one day once the world burns, and there's all these things that men are saying that I'm reading about, well, there's going to be a reckoning by who and when. Because the world is built on men being cannon fodder for a lot of things. If you think about how men are treated and how men are viewed, when a building's burning down, women and children first. When war happens, men get drafted. There's a reason for that. And the world keeps spinning and men lose their lives. But what I'm saying is if you really want to make an impact on your life, don't expect for the world to change and start giving a shit about men because it's not made that way. You're going to have to take time to care about yourself, to care about what you want, and go after it. And stop being so afraid of failure.